Hi, this is Mike Hendrickson from Security in New York. I'm here with Prakash from Vera. Prakash, how you doing?
Doing great, Mike.
So how has this event been for you so far?
The event has been wonderful, and attended some of the booth sessions and seen some demos, met some old friends. Looking forward to some of the sessions in the next few hours, and I'll be speaking tomorrow at 11:20.
And
Excited about that.
What are you speaking on?
Yeah. I'm speaking about how data in the enterprise has changed over time, and how there's new threats now, and how prior solutions around building a perimeter don't work anymore. So, and then we talk about a new approach to security, data-centric approach to security. So that is a lot more appropriate in this world where data is everywhere, in a world where there's no borders really.
So if data is going to help us with security, what are the new threats that we're going to attack with this data-centric approach? What are some of the new threats you're seeing to an enterprise?
Sure. So there's about, in the past year, believe it or not, there were $450 billion lost in value from all these data breaches, right? And the number is estimated to grow to about $2 trillion.
450 billion.
Billion.
Billion. Okay.
And that's growing to $2 trillion by 2020. Right? So there's threats that are primarily from honest users doing stupid things, right? That's 60% of the data breaches, right? Remember fat-fingering email, right? Which all of us have done at some point, right?
So honest users doing stupid things, is that large enterprises doing stupid things too?
So that's another aspect of it as well, right? So that's where we need to talk about Deloitte and some of the email leak, right? So data breaches around communications is a big part of it, right? Where in that case, the admin passwords were compromised, giving the attackers blanket access to email and all the corporate IP within that system, right? Now, another good example is when enterprises collaborate with contractors, and sometimes these are in a different country, right? So enterprises are realizing that it doesn't matter how many millions of dollars they spend on their infrastructure, the weakest link is somewhere else. It's the contractors, right? And some examples of breaches there are Snowden, NSA back in the day.
Yeah.
More recent one is the Verizon hack where due to a third party not handling their data well, about 14 million user accounts got compromised. Right? But it's also some pretty evolving attacks on ransomware, right? Where initially they were focused on encrypting data, getting some bitcoins, but now they're getting smarter, and the ransomware is more focused on exfiltrating data, right? Because that's where the real value is, right? And there's one malware recently, Lockybot on Android, where they're exfiltrating data, and when someone tries to remove that, then it becomes ransomware, and that's when they demand bitcoins, right? So it's malware is evolving, right? But at the same time, the threats are also evolving, primarily because the way we collaborate with data is changing over time.
So what are you guys at Vera doing to help mitigate all this? Like, if data is going to help solve our breaches and threats and attacks in the future, what are you guys doing specifically to help with that at Vera?
Yeah, so we at Vera, we have a data-centric approach to securing information, so that the security and control travels with the data wherever it goes, right? So it doesn't matter what device, what platform, what network, or how you're going about accessing that data. So we provide that strong security coupled with an invisible experience for the good guys, right? So then the problem then becomes, why not secure all your information where you know that your data is protected everywhere and at all times.
So how does someone get started with you guys? I mean, to me, when you say a third party, that could be part of the problem. If you're a third party to the equation, how do you make sure that whatever someone works with is secure?
So that's what Vera provides. We provide the data-centric security solution that's easy for anyone to transact with. If they have never heard of Vera, if they receive a secure file protected with Vera or a secure email protected with Vera, they can very simply authenticate and get access to that information, assuming they're trusted, right? And even better, right, for the person that owns our information, so the data is strongly encrypted, at rest, in motion, and in use, right? We apply access control on top, which means that only trusted users can truly access that content, right? And the best part is that we enforce permissions, the dynamic data policies, even when someone is accessing that information. So you can prevent people from copying, printing, or screenshotting information. So you get that strong security, right? And yet is simple for genuine users, honest users, trusted users to access that information.
And you guys are making some announcements this week here at our event?
Yeah, so we're excited about announcing our secure email product line. So this is in addition to Vera for Files and the Vera platform. So we're leveraging the platform now to protect email body and email attachments. So the idea is that I could send you, Mike, an email that's secure, only you could access it, right? But when you forward it along to someone else, they couldn't access it.
Forever? I mean, it's encrypted or something, so...
Correct. It's encrypted at all times, right? And I have the ability to enforce permissioning. Right? I could provide a personalized watermark. So if you take a picture, right, it's Mike's copy of that email, right? And but the best part is you could do this without you having to go through setting up public-private key pairs or any of that. It's a very simple experience. Works on any device, any platform, any email client.
And seamless for the receiver and the sender both?
That's correct. And we do this with automation, so the sender doesn't have to think about, am I securing this email or not, right? And on the receiving side, right, as long as you have access, it just appears in your Outlook or single click of a button, you can open it on the browser from your webmail client.
Sounds like something that could be very useful in today's world when we see all these breaches with emails and email servers and everything. So you guys are making email safe for everybody,
correct?
If they use you.
Correct. So think of Outlook recall.
Yeah.
That now truly works. Right? It's not like you get a recall email and makes you curious about what the original email was. Now you know whether someone has opened this email or not, and you could, with a click of a button, revoke access to that email. Right? And so in particular, in any of these breaches, whether there's the Sony breach a couple of years ago on email or the Deloitte breach, right? So you have complete control and visibility around who has access to your information in email, right? And you can very easily revoke access or control access or change access dynamically in real time.
Excellent. So if we were to sit down, Prakash, 12 months from now and have this conversation here in New York next year, what would you like to say has changed with Vera and what you guys are offering and doing? And what would you like to see change in the industry and the world? So
just recently we announced an enterprise-wide deal with General Electric where they've deployed our product wall-to-wall across all their business units to protect their IP information of all kinds, right? Intellectual property and more, right? So, and that's a huge milestone for us as a company, right? Now, in the next year, what we want to do is to leverage the platform we've built, right? And not just for files, not just for email that we just talked about, but for other data types as well, right? In addition to that, in addition to protecting information, we also want to be looking at classification, where the problem is if you have, let's say, lots of data, terabytes of data, most companies do not know where their sensitive information is.
Right.
And that's where we want to help enterprises find that sensitive information. And once they find it in an automated fashion, allow for tagging that information or maybe even protecting or securing that information, right? So that's what we're wanting to do, which is provide the de facto data security standard for the enterprise. So not just the GEs of the world, but enterprises across different verticals and big and small are using Vera in creative ways to protect data in various forms across different workflows, right? And true to our mission, want to protect data everywhere and at all times.
Excellent. Prakash, we look forward to that conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mike.